Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about me reorganizing my bookshelves, the specific section of my library, and letting you know what I'm thinking about decoration-wise, kind of giving you a few options. I want your feedback. I'm going to do a little bit by myself, but as I'm filming this right now, I'm in the middle of it. Don't look too hard at the background. I'm going to show you what's been going on, but I wasn't going to post this video, so the format is all over the place because it didn't go well. It didn't go well. I went and got bookshelves, additional bookshelves from IKEA. I have these Billy bookshelves, these bookcases. I have 7 in the room. This is a setup. It looks really cool. I like it. It makes my room feel like an actual library. I just really like it. But I wanted to have more bookshelves because so far I've been organizing my bookcases by genre. I have 2 fantasy shelves, 2 sci-fi one. I have 1 mystery thriller horror. I have 1 that is nonfiction, but then it's been mixing up with some classics and then everything else that I usually put on 1 bookcase. And I just didn't have enough bookshelves on that specific section because I had to double up my classics. It didn't look really good. So I thought, you know what, let me just get some more bookshelves or shelves. I get so confused. English is my second language and all of these words are the same. Bookshelves, shelves, bookcases. Anyway, went to IKEA. You can get additional Billy shelves, 4D Billy bookshelves, bookcases, and I decided I'm going to get 2 per bookcases. I want to add 2 more shelves too. See, this is why. So I got 6, and I thought I'm going to do this specific section that I love to use the most in my background. It's the section that I need the most additional bookshelves. The more I use that word, the least sense it's making. But when I got to actually doing it, I have clips. You can see me do it. I removed the books. I started with the nonfiction one, bookcase number 7. And I realized that you can't add 2 shelves while having books on there. It doesn't work because the middle shelf needs to stay there. You can't move it. It's literally part of the structure for it to actually not fall apart. So you can't move it around. So I didn't finish that day because I did have a little bit of breakdown, okay? We're all friends here. We're all adults too. We can just admit it. I may have shed a few tears. We can blame the heat. We can blame the fact that I started my period 2 days later. Anybody else? Every month, I'm shocked. Why am I a mess 2 days before? So I took the break, the very much needed break, came back with fresh eyes and figured out a way to make it work. So I will only need 1 additional shelf per bookcase. And since I have 7, I already have 3 more to do the other side. If I decide to, I probably will. And I'll just have to get 1 more. So it works. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Basically, I have 3 shorter bookshelves at the top, 3 longer ones, and then a giant one at the bottom. It's not that big, quite frankly. You can't see it on camera. I mean, you can kind of see it, but not really. I will actually use them. So for the 3 top ones, I'll be able to use them for the shorter paperbacks and then mass market paperbacks. The 3 middle ones, like I said, can fit everything. So hardcovers, anything else, taller paperbacks. And the bottom one I can use as just filler whenever I end up having too many books, which hopefully not too soon. Or like weird editions. I have some that are like this one, which like very pretty, but doesn't fit anywhere. So I can now finally put it somewhere. Is it the ideal setup? Probably not. Actually, definitely not. But I decided to embrace the chaos and go full on chaotic and completely switch up how I organize my books. They're still organized overall by genre. So every bookcase is usually 1 genre. But I usually try to section them together in terms of like subgenre or authors, which that's going to be the part that makes people cringe, but I don't care. I buy most of my books used, so very often during the same series, they're not going to be the same height because I get what I can find. And I usually don't care, but again, that's going to bug people. But so far, there's not a lot of series in this section. They're all from like sci-fi fantasy, so don't cringe yet. It's not really happening so far. But I decided to organize them by height. I know. It's probably going to make me cringe too eventually, but I decided to try something new and just purely go for static. Purely static. And I kind of like it. So I'm showing you the process. It was a lot of work trying to make things fit. I realized so many books, even though they're all paperbacks, they're not the same height. And like it takes like 1 millimeter for it not to fit on the shorter shelves. But I decided once again to just stop stressing. Why am I stressing all the time? So I tried to make it work as well as possible. And I do like the final look. I'm not fully done, but the current look, I am noticing now that I did put some hardcovers, not all together, and divide them for the nonfiction. I don't know why I did that, but I do have more books to put back on my shelves that were on my desk. My desk is a little bit of a mess right now. So I tried to not overly think it and just go a little bit by vibes, okay? We're just going for it. And The current final result, which isn't the fully final result, I'm actually happy with it. The reason I wanted to add more shelves was, yes, to not have double stacks of classic books on that specific bookcase, but also I didn't really like the amount of space that there was between, like, on top of the books before the other shelf. I felt like it looked empty, and I like the look of, like, really filled bookshelves. We're going almost for a maximalist kind of look. I wanted to also add plants, which I had tried for a few videos prior to this, and I really like the look. And we're also going to be adding some decor portion that I'll show you in a second. But essentially, I wanted things to look just more cozy. And the most important part is that, yes, I'm embracing change and just trying different things, but it just filled all of my goals. It looks cozier. It looks very full. It just feels like home. Like, I feel like I didn't hate the way it was before, but it didn't feel like me, my home. It didn't feel comfortable. And I feel like I'm finally getting those vibes here. With that said, we do need to finish things because this is my desk right now. This is not aesthetic. We don't like this. So we're gonna fix that too, because I did like to use this portion as a background too. This room is the darkest room in the house, and I do feel like putting a bookcase in the middle of the room probably didn't help. But again, dark can be cozy as long as you have lighting, which I did add a little light in the back. I have the ring light. I have this light over here that helps with the coziness, right? We're working on it. I have been debating getting, there we go, lights, like maybe a light here and one over there. You know the ones, like these gold ones, which I think would look really cute. I did debate painting the bookcases, by the way. The reason I decided not to do that is because, one, it's the darkest room. Two, I feel like for it to look really finished, I would have to fill the little holes where you can change the height of the bookshelves. And clearly, I'm not fully convinced that this is the forever setup, so I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna like keep them white because, again, it keeps things a lot brighter. And we're gonna start focusing on this side. So as you can see, yes, I did have a bunch of books here. That's why I'm saying I'm not overly stressing about the way it looks. I do think some sections look really good. Like, again, the classics, that looks cool. Like all the French classics, I need more French classic now. I just do. And like, I like actually the messiness of the nonfiction. I don't know, it just looks so full. I love it. Now we're going into the decor portion, and you can see the side of that bookcase looks pretty empty. And we're going into this, like I was saying, cozy, almost dark academia, vintage, busy look. And I decided to get a bunch of picture frames like this. And yes, they all match. And yes, they're all landscapes. That's what I like. But I especially wanted them because I like the thickness of the frame. I feel like, again, it makes it look super cozy. I just wasn't sure how many I wanted to get, so I got a bunch. I don't want to poke holes in here, so I'm going to have to use double-sided tape, which is so strong that the cardboard is safe now. We're going to deal with that in a second. So I got a couple. I think I have 6, which I think should be enough. I just need to decide the space in between them. So if I have some, I think I have some gummets. How do you call that in English? The blue thing that you use in elementary school, things to put things on the wall. I have some. Do you see? I got so many questions about this. This used to be cute-ish. I never finished it because life. But the blue tack, there you go. That's what you guys say. So the blue tack. This is a bunch of my favorite quotes from Pride and Prejudice. It was meant to be cute. I was meant to come back and finish it, and I just didn't. And it's been falling off because the heat wave right now, I'm sweating like crazy. It's been really bad in Canada this year. So they've just been falling off. And I keep trying to put them back. They keep falling off. So I took it as a sign that it all needs to go. So yes, I got a bunch of these. Like I said, I'm going to try maybe some blue tack to see the height that I want. And I do have, I don't know how you call that, a level to try and make it look somewhat decent, but it's at an angle. I'm not that picky. The block button exists, so it's going to go well. And I have one picture frame so far decided to replace this mess. I'm also going to empty this. Okay, give me a second. So let me show you the ones I do like, and there are 2 that I don't think I like, so we'll see. Okay, I'm back. So let me show you the one I love first because I love it. I think it looks really pretty. I didn't want to get more with the same frame because I think 6 that are matchy-matchy is enough. But I do think it looks nice, and I like that there's no glass in front. It actually looks like a vintage painting. And with ring lights and everything. You have to be careful with glass because it just reflects, right? But then I found this one. Isn't it gorgeous? And yes, it's a landscape. But more importantly, I do think it's nice that it's also green. Like it stands out a little bit without just distracting from whatever I'll be talking about. But I love the way it looks. And it's like a good size too. Like I'll probably put it a bit higher than this, but like, isn't it cute? Or should I put it on the other side over there? I think I like it here. Either way, I'm just really happy with the way this one turned out. I think it's going to bring height because I don't want to, I don't know, just have the bookcases that are high. You want to balance it. So I think this is going to be perfect for that. And then, like I said, the next two, I don't really think they work. The first one, I didn't want to have, again, different frames, but this one didn't turn out in person the same. Like it looks all just mushed together. I don't think it looks that great. So I will probably return this one, but I do like that it's a gold frame without looking too yellow. Like you want, again, the kind of vintage look. So I think I'm going to exchange this one for something else, but not a bad idea. And the last one is the same frame as the first one, but again, I feel like the design didn't turn out in person the way I thought it would. So I don't hate it. I just don't think it's the look I wanted to go for. So I think this one I will also exchange. I feel like I have the high energy that follows the depressive episode of Pre-Period. So I'm getting a little excited, but I have two pictures that I would like to have your feedback on, and they're not landscapes. So people that are like, Emily, it's all matchy-matchy. This is your time to shine. I have these two pictures. Again, it's a different frame, so it's not too matchy-matchy. I like the vibes. I do think that the darker green one matches the room really well. I feel like it blends into it without disappearing. And I do think it just looks really good for the room. Like it's very similar to the room. I do think I prefer the vibes of the lighter color ones, but I don't know if it's going to stand out too much. So feel free to let me in the comment section. I'll think about it and I'll show you which one I decide to get. But I do think that overall it would be nice to have one or the other on my wall. Again, it wouldn't be just landscapes, even though that's what I want. Knowing myself, sometimes I just need to see something multiple times before I decide if I like it or not. So I'll let you know. I think that the desk portion will be like later on in a reading vlog because we're trying to get it together. I feel like my life has been a mess the last couple of years and we're trying to catch up. We'll address that next week. There's a long list of things that I want to do, but redecorating is number one. So that's why I really wanted to redecorate. And as you've been seeing throughout the vlog, it's been all over the place. It's been a bit of a mess because nothing was working, but it's okay. It's okay. So I'm gonna pause this manic episode that I seem to be having, and I'm just gonna try to get to the tack and try to see what I can do with this. Maybe find the order I like, and then we'll try to commit with the double-sided tape if I manage to actually use it. I am sweating so badly. I feel like the last month it's just been me sweating in my videos. It's been so freaking hot. Let's get to work. One more thing. I don't know if you can see this awkward line. Listen, I did this myself. I'm not handy. I did have some help from my dad, who was even less handy. If he sees that, sorry, Papa. But there's this line awkward that I never filled properly. So I tried. But I don't know if I can cover it if I want to have a picture frame on top, but it's the same height as the rest. I don't think it would look good, right? Maybe if I put the top right in that line, it would hide it. Let me show you. This would be good. Like here. I knew I had some somewhere. Blue tack, right? Tack. Okay, so if we go back to like my normal-ish setup, I think this looks good. This looks good. I'm happy. You would have, I don't know if it's going to be the forever lamp, but I do like the lamp. I think this corner is complete. How do we feel about this? Okay, that's it. I'm tired. I'm way too hot. This is what things are looking like now. I do think that this was a mess. For me, this is like the last week of struggling on and off But I'm actually happy with the way it turned out. Like, obviously not perfect. You saw I have a bunch of books that still need to go on there. So things will move around a little bit. And like I said, I might decide to put all my hardcovers together, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think that overall height does look good. It looks very uniform. And considering that I don't buy only like hardcovers, which they look good on the shelf, like they do, but they're not my favorites. Plus, again, used bookstores, they tend to have more paperbacks. I like them more anyway. So I'm happy. Considering how messy, I might keep this one, which is like the first page. I had tried to age them, by the way, because I couldn't find an old copy of it that wasn't, pretty. I found this one and I tried to age the pages in like coffee and it kind of worked, but on camera it still looks pretty white. So it didn't really work out that well. But maybe if I find a cute picture frame, I can put this page and still put it as a memory. I'll try and see if I can find a cute one. So that's it. I don't really give up, but I give up. This is the reorganization video, part 1 at least, and I'll let you know what's going on with the desk, probably in a reading vlog, and then eventually I would also like to do part 2 for the other side. I don't know how that's going to go because, like I said, I have 4 bookcases on that side, and it's 2 sci-fi, 2 fantasy, and they do tend to have mostly hardcovers or just giant paperbacks, so I don't know how that setup is going to be, but I feel like I'm going to need to keep this height anyway. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes because let me show you something. So you know how I was saying that same author, same series, I would have different editions? Becky Chambers is a really good example. Specifically, this series by her. Look, I have 3 different formats. I have the small paperback, I have the tall paperback, and then I have hardcovers. This one might fit on the small shelf and these ones on the tall one. I'm not going to separate them. I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm just going to try it. We'll see. Maybe it's not going to bug me. I have a great memory. I'm sure I'm going to be able to find my books. So this is it. The team of that video was definitely embracing the chaos, and we'll see where it brings us. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I will be able to do something with all these clips because I very strongly consider just scrapping the whole thing. But I like the way it turned out, so I do want to show it. So yes, that's it. Thumbs up for emotional support. I will go back to my magic bag even though I'm sweating, but the Advils are not cutting it right now. And I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out. And I will see you in an hopefully less chaotic video soon. Bye.